No.
It's Wednesday again at last. Metal Summoners, we love you guys. Welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in as always. We are your island of misfit toys. You know what the deal is. We've got Angel Alamo. We are now being joined by Bobby Dreyer. We will have Psycho Steve, and I am Jay. Thank you guys as always for tuning in with us each and every week. And we are super duper stoked that you are back with us. First and foremost, guys, Angel, Bobby, how was your week?
Doing good. Did the Metal Hall of Fame this week, so I'm totally psyched.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Angel, you?
Awesome week so far. Got my Metal Summit shirt. Got the Jack Daniels, so I'm all set. I'm all good, rocking and rolling.
I gotta get a bed. Awesome, right on, dude. For
Man,
sure.
where's Bobby at? Already, he disappeared already.
That's all right. He's probably going to get that beloved Natty Bow that he likes so much, so he can keep me happy being down here in Maryland. But that's awesome, bro, for sure, man. Yeah, it was definitely a good week. Last week was fantastic. That Gacy DC episode was super duper fun, and that was also a good job to all around guys, because that was the most packed episode we've ever had. I think we had like 8 different live screens at one point, from DC to Doug Pinnick to Caleb to Hal to us. I mean, there was an awful lot of testosterone on last week's episode. But
I had to manage the screens.
That you definitely did, and you did it absolutely fantastic. But enough about us. It's all about her. Let's bring in our guest for this week. From Van Halen's Hot for Teacher, model, actress, and all-around beautiful person, Lori Tucker. How are you?
Hey, good. Great. And gosh, I hadn't seen the intro before. That is an awesome intro.
Thank you.
It's got a good beat and you can dance to it.
Absolutely.
That would be me.
You like our little cartoon heads?
Yes, it's awesome. And the music, yeah.
All right, on. That's awesome. Well, first and foremost, thank you so much for taking some time out of your evening to hang with us tonight. And how are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me. It's awesome. Yeah, I'm doing good. I just had my birthday on 9/11. But as I said before, I started the festivities a couple days before that, and I will continue them throughout the month to just stretch out the parties and the cake.
That's awesome. Well, let's since we were actually just kind of recapping a little bit of last week, you recently saw all of those peeps that we just talked about, from Gacy DC to Nerd Halen with Caleb and Hal. You were at the show that they did together a couple weeks ago. Did you have a good time?
Oh, it was amazing. I've known Caleb a little bit, and I hadn't seen the show yet, so I was so excited when I found out they were, finally going to have a show. Grabbed a friend of mine, went down, and I really didn't know what to expect. So I knew Caleb's an amazing guitarist. So but I thought, nerd, yes. What's this going to be about? So first comes on Gacy DC, I think. And oh my God, you just, like with Nerd Halen, you have this amazing music, around some comedy. And it's awesome. Each band has great guitarists, great instrumentalists, singers, and it's such a fun show and such a blast. It just gets the audience going. I really haven't seen any audience like that, go crazy like that in a while. Also coming out of COVID, but yeah, so.
For sure. And that was
great.
Oh, awesome.
Hal is a crack up. He's so funny.
So good for
And
sure.
it was so funny. I was, I didn't know anybody knew I was there at all except for Caleb. Because I said, hey, I'm going to come to the show, friend. And so I was just sneaking off to the restroom. Caleb goes, and Caleb goes, and we have Lori Tucker here. Like stopped in my tracks and turned around. Yay.
Oh,
So yeah.
thanks a lot, Caleb.
And then Hal sang "Hot for Teacher" to me. So
That's so awesome. But that is actually really cool because that's something we actually did talk a lot in depth about last episode was how when you get tribute acts, you get so many bands that are all about performing what the fans remembered, as opposed to kind of performing now in like a fun and kind of flirty way. So we talked a lot about bands like Nerd Haaland that have a little bit of that like fun flair to them. Gay CDC are their own kind of thing. You've got Max Sabbath, who's doing kind of the fun fast food thing for Black Sabbath, if you're familiar with them.
Oh, I have to see that.
And there's also a band called Oakley Dokley, which is a Ned Flanders from The Simpsons band where they perform like death metal.
Oh my God. That's just right up my alley. Just right up my death metal alley.
Exactly. It's Halloween's coming up. You can get your corpse paint going and all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
But we did talk a lot about that, about just, putting like a different spin on things so that it's not, a bunch of, older gents.
Same cookie cutter thing. And that's what I told Caleb and Hal. I said that was just so entertaining, so fun. And like I said, it's this amazing music around some comedy. And it has, who's such a crack up.
Right.
So when he puts his little spandex pants on, I don't know if you've seen that part. Yeah, he gets his little spandex pants on like midway through the show and does a little,
puts down a couple of little moves.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely, for sure.
Dave, eat your heart out. That's all I gotta say.
Oh, absolutely, without a doubt. Well, let's bring a little sexy back when it comes to this episode. Oh, Queen Bobby.
Yo. So
It's all you.
Well, my whole thing is I got my natty bow here. Oh,
I knew it.
So a little bit of Lori, I'm going to go out on a limb on this one.
Okay.
Little bit of Airwolf, little bit of Jan Michael Vincent. Let's go on that shit right now.
Oh my God, that's so funny you bring that up. During COVID, nobody was doing anything. I know I wasn't. So I went from posting, this and that, family events and food, things like that, and a little bit of retro stuff. But I really started just like digging into all my old, VHSs. Got a couple of those copied and. So I just started posting some retro things and it got fun. And I got onto a couple of these like 80s, pages. And I posted that. I shot that literally less than a week after I shot Hot for Teacher, actually. I was looking at I have my pay stub still, as I do. I have my pay stub from the Hot for Teacher because I'm a pack rat. And so we shot at Los Angeles International Airport for some of the scenes, the opening scene where we're remodeling. And then at Universal Studios, which is one of only 2 places in the world that has a half of an airplane in their soundstage, which is really super cool. But I love Ernest Borgnine from everything he's ever done. And I was absolutely in love with Jan Michael Vincent as a teenager. I thought I am going to marry this guy one day. it didn't work out, but I did get to meet him a couple of times prior to that when his Take His Job and Shove It movie premiere and a couple other things. But he is a great guy. He's a nice guy. So it's fun to chit chat with him on the set. Of course, he did kind of go missing a couple times. We had to find him in the sky bar and go retrieve him. The AD would be like, "Where's Jan? He's in the sky bar." So, but that was a fun thing to shoot. Yeah, it was very 80s. You see the 80s hair, 80s bathing suits, 80s clothes.
So the other thing too, I got to ask. Okay, all the BS that went down with Dave and Gene. What is your perspective on all of that? Look, Gene apologized, but I think it was a little catty.
Yeah, gosh, it's just one thing. It's really disappointing because I was really looking forward to getting tickets to that and seeing Dave after all this time. I'm going to have to hit Vegas now in his residency.
Yeah.
On Sebastian Bach. But yeah, it was really catty. It was just really disappointing.
Yeah, I was very fortunate.
Aspects of it, Dave's Dave, and if you don't understand Dave and know what you're getting, look at him at the VMAs. Did you see that little? They're talking to him on the red carpet.
Of course.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
So let me get your perspective on this before we flip it back over to Angel. I had the fortunate to see Wolfgang on the opening of the Guns tour.
Yeah, I did too.
And at Hershey Park in Pennsylvania.
Oh, wow.
So how are your feelings? I love Wolfie. I think, look, what a great, amazing guy.
So I, of course, we all watched him grow up. I watched Eddie grow up.
And Val and everything else.
And, just loved him. The sentimental aspect of seeing him. I'm like getting chill. I'm really getting chills right now, honestly, because just the sentimental aspect. Love his dad to death. Valerie's awesome.
Oh.
Seeing him grow up, and I love his voice. I think he's really talented. Plays all the instruments.
Yeah.
He's not his dad. I don't expect him to be. And I've seen a lot of really mean remarks online of people saying, what's he doing? He's not his dad. And he's not, at all. And good for him. Like you said, he's not going to go play jump on any of his shows.
No. And
so I was thrilled out of my brains to see him. And he came on really early here in LA. And it was open outdoor stadium. Really, really nice one. First time I'd been there. And so where my friend and I were, we had actually gotten tickets because that was a holdover show. And we got the tickets late after everybody else had gotten there. So we had nosebleed seats, but we ended up just finagling ourselves down to almost the floor and having amazing seats. It was just some empty seats here and there. And it was really nice. It wasn't a full house when he sang, but I kind of liked it like that. I felt like it was a little more intimate and personal, but I'm happy he's out there. I'm happy he's singing. I'm happy
That's
he's
great.
And I love it. And I like his voice. I like his stuff actually. So good for him.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Jay?
For sure. No, that's super duper cool. Laura, do you find any kind of just nostalgia in his performance, being that you're so close to that camp? Or do you really just kind of take it as at face value of Wolfie doing Wolfie?
Yeah, no, there's that huge nostalgia there. And, remember before he was born and, during the Hopper teacher, she was on set and, just over there in the corner. And I remember going up to Eddie, we were standing there and I'm like, hey, Ed, I know you're a big rock star and everything, but can I please meet your wife? Really fangirling over her right now. I love Valerie. He's like, oh yeah, sure, come on, So he took me over there and I had said this before. I was almost embarrassed because, she always had that, such a clean cut, in her shows, always so, cute and Americana. And I was in 4-inch stilettos with fishnets on, a bustier lingerie, hair this big, and I looked like the Attack of the 50-Foot Woman or something. And I walked up to her, I'm like, hi, But she was really nice, really, really super nice. And, that's just
good idea.
kind of just, we're hanging out with Eddie those few days and what a humble human being he was. He did not act like a rock star at all. He didn't put that on at all. And I was saying, when we were shooting in the jail cell scene and, we were there for hours even though it's like a 30-second or whatever. And he was on the floor. So the guys were all behind me, and I had to walk back and forth in these heels, and I had a little whip. And so I couldn't really look down or anything. So I was like walking back like a mean detention teacher, and he had to, keep moving his legs. And sometimes he was like sticking them out like he was going to trip me on purpose, but and just a sweetie, so mild mannered, and so when just watching Wolfie grow up, there's a huge sentimental value, and awesome. Like I said, just pleasantly surprised that he's good, and I love his stuff. So we'll see where he goes from here. He can hopefully prove the critics wrong.
Absolutely. No, 100%. And that's super duper awesome, because that's also how we all felt too. But actually this just kind of works for this segment as well, to where we just kind of like get it out and just get it covered and cover the topic, because we're a show completely built around like positivity. Like we don't do sadness very well when it comes to so, but just to cover the topic, because it's kind of the correct segue for it. We're coming up on about 1 year on losing Eddie.
Yeah.
And would you say that those are like your fondest memories of him, just like not being like a rock star, being so nice about letting you meet Val, but also just him as a personality?
Absolutely. And I think he got a kick out of it when I said, I really want to meet your wife. And he was happy about that. He was like, oh, and his eyes lit up. He's like, yeah, let's go. Well, I'm probably acting more excited than he does, because he's a little more, but he seemed to, his eyes lit up, and he's like, yeah, brought me over. So, that was really, so yeah, that's how I remember him, just not being, I was a huge Van Halen fan before I ever did that music video. And I've told the story before, but I had gone to Paris when I turned 18, went there, lived there a year, and I brought this cassette player, it was like about $12, like a Casio or something. And I had 2 CDs. I had Deep Purple's Burn, and I had, because Burn's my favorite song. And, the first Van Halen. And I just played it until I burnt it out. And I was living in a model apartment, and so it was a girl in one room, girl in another, and I was in the living room, and they hated my guts because
oh no.
I just was like,
cat fight.
Right, because they were like, please, can we have half a night where you don't play that? Because they were, for me, going somewhere for the, flying across the universe for the first time, as an 18-year-old. And I come from a big family of 9, so, far away from home. And Van Halen, those guys were from Pasadena. Those were our hometown boys. That, I felt like I was bringing a little bit of home with me, listening to them, So prior to meeting them, just when I heard I was going on the interview, so, I was a, working model and doing commercials and a little bit of TV. And I just come back, from the second time I was in Europe. And when they said, oh, there's an interview for, I'm like, oh, music video for what? And I said, oh, it's Van Halen. It was like my jaw dropped to the ground. And I've worked with a lot of artists and, celebrities and things, but that was just like, oh my gosh, that was awesome. And I have this, actually one little picture, I don't know where I stuck it. This is really old, but this I shot at the end of 1978. It was for a little nightclub here in LA. And it came out in 1979 in February. So I was already living in Paris. So I think, somebody from my family saw it and saved it for me. But it's my little picture here in Van Halen. And I'm like, this is an omen. Had I known, so I've saved that forever. It's from like LA Magazine or something like that. But and I forgot about it and didn't like pull that out of my attic till recently. And it went, wow, that's really funny. It's really cool. It's kind of like,
that's super duper cool. I love the fact that when like the casting agents or your managers are like, yeah, we got this interview for you for some music video, and then they lay it down. I feel like if there was ever a chance of watching you like stab a bitch, like that was going to be it for that opportunity.
That'd be the only time.
Exactly.
But yeah, definitely. I was really excited. And then, went on the interview, and it was a casting person I had gone to before, and I think it was on Wilshire Boulevard. And we went in, and they had a little, usually they don't have a setup, but they did have a couple little like desks as, you know, little tables set up for desks and a ruler and I think a little chalkboard or something. And so you really had to rely on your improv skills. And she just said, okay, so you're a teacher and you're giving a lesson in the classroom, go, you know, that was it. So, yeah, I started walking back and forth, and then I just took the ruler and I aimed it and I said, Dave, I have a math question for you. What does 36, 24, 36 add up to?
Yes.
And then she just goes, cut. And so that was it. It was my interview. And I forget how much longer later, you know, maybe a few days to a week, the guys had to look at all the footage and see who they wanted to come back. And so I came back. So I was booked on the job. My agent said I was booked. I was thrilled, to say the least. And then but they wanted us to come back in and meet the guys. So in person. So they said, yes, wear a two-piece bathing suit and come back. And I'm like, oh my God. So I got there and I talked to either producer or director, I forget. And then they said, okay, the guys are in here. And I walked into what was like a walk-in closet sized room. And there was a love seat size sofa on one side and on the other. And there was like Dave and Eddie and Alex and Michael over here. And there was hardly any room for me to even walk. And so I just walked to the back wall and turned around and, you know, we're just like right here next to each other. And we just, they were kind of like the guy, Dave was cool, but like, hey, but the other guys acted a little embarrassed that I had to stand there in a bathing suit. I mean, they were acting a little shy about it, you know, but we talked a little bit. I shook their hands very professionally as I was. And so that was it. And I was saying, well, that wasn't so painful, like, you know, and then Dave goes, it was for us. So, yeah, I just left and yeah, we shot, you know, I don't know.
That's awesome.
So we shot for 3 days.
I love the fact that you asked him that math question. That was actually my locker combination in high school too, by the way.
Good man.
100% it was. Absolutely. Angel Alamo, it's about time to hear from you, my good dude.
Hey, how's it going?
Great, Angel. How are you?
I just want to say welcome and thank you for coming.
Thank you.
I'm going to get to the fan questions first because they've been so loving and patient.
Okay.
And if I don't get to the questions first, the first one is from Candy Burton. She says, "Hi, Lori. You're so pretty.
Aw,
Can you
thank you.
tell us your favorite Eddie story?"
Well, I mean, that in the jail cell scene has to be, and actually, because, you know, we had the little kids behind us and we'd have to wait for them to do the camera and set everything up, and we'd shoot a little bit, stop and shoot a little bit. And Dave was actually outside of there, so he'd kind of disappear when we had a break, and I just kind of hang around. I couldn't sit down because of all my garb, and the dressing lady, our I forget the word, but the person who dresses us, or the wardrobe lady, she would have killed me. So, you know, we're just talking to the kids and everything and joking around, and we're cracking up because we're there so long and we're just punch drunk and being silly. And I think it was Eddie that actually called me Attack of the 50-Foot Woman. So, because he's laying on the ground and I'm standing there. I'm 5'11" already. So, and I'm one of the short ones in my family, and 4-inch heels and like the whole, and then I have a lot of hair, and I have naturally curly auburnish hair. So they ratted that out and then put a big wig on me and on top of my hair, like a fall. And so, yeah, I must have looked very ominous to poor Eddie on the ground. Yeah. So, so pretty much that, you know, just hanging out with him there. And like I said, having him pretend to trip me and things like that. That was, and just, you know, I just love him to death. What a sweetie. Yeah. But thanks for the question.
And thanks for watching, Ken. Now, my question is, when we see the music videos, we get to see the easy part. We get to see those few minutes that everything has come together. But
Right.
how long how long did it take as far as shooting the music video?
For that particular video?
Yep.
Yeah, well, we shot over 3 days, and one of the days I didn't have to come until 3 o'clock, and I know that because I found my call sheet, which has the, when the band and anybody that's going to be on the set that day, their time to show up, be in makeup, and then be on the set. So I think the first day of shooting, I had to get there at 3, which meant I know I was there until like midnight at least for that particular part of it. And then we did the Waldo scene the next day. And then I know we did some other stuff, maybe some pickup shots on the next day as well, and shot with took some photos with Nils Lozauer, who's the god of rock photography, and anything you see from any book or anything from that set Neil took. So they had dressed us, Waldo's girl, the 3 teachers, myself, Donna, and Lori Butler, and I in the clothes. We kind of looked like a little bit like sleepwalkers, flashy ladies, and we were at that purple car and everything like that. So yeah, they brought Dave out and we took pictures there. So I have shot overnight multiple times on different music videos. I have shot definitely till the sun came up and beyond, and had been there all day before. So yeah, the LA Guns music video, I remember shooting all night. We shot everywhere in LA you could possibly shoot, and being out on like Hollywood and Vine at like 2 in the morning and still shooting. So yeah, it's a whole hurry up and wait. They get you in position, and then they set the shot up, and then they bring you back in, and yeah, everything takes a long time.
I can't imagine. Is everybody from LA Guns, were they like wide awake? Anybody dozing off?
Well, I kept saying when I saw my call sheet and I saw that, like, David and Eddie and Michael and Alec had to be on set at 7:30. I'm figuring they just stayed up all night and just came to set. I can't imagine them getting up that early. But everybody just drinks, coffee, and I think your adrenaline's going to, shooting and having to, the guys are like playing, and you're in LA Guns, we were walking down the street, and we had little actions we had to do, little improv things there, and it just kind of keeps your adrenaline going. So I didn't get tired till the drive home, and I was like, oh my gosh.
There's that no sleeping thing.
Driving tired, yeah. Worse than driving drunk, probably.
100% for sure.
And speaking of people that never sleep,
Yes.
hey Steve,
Steve, how are you, my good dude? Welcome in, brother.
Goddamn time.
the Hollywood vampire.
What are you talking about, Queen?
Oh,
Excuse you.
great time of-
Okay.
Steve,
Love
happy
you.
Steve, happy to have you, brother. Just
Happy
a
to
quick
be here.
little, yeah, man. Just a quick little recap. We touched base a little bit on her fondest memories of Eddie, how she kind of got the gig and got offered that, her manager, her agency was offering this potential music video, and that she was already a big Van Halen fan long before the video.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I think I was also. But I wasn't offered the gig or didn't look in a 2-piece either.
Well,
So
it's because your bustier wasn't like
That's
puckered
it.
up.
exactly. My man's ear was not good enough.
He refused the whip and the stilettos. I understand.
No, I'm a Kiss fan. I'll wear heels.
I
Maybe
actually-
makes me wear them.
Yeah, exactly.
Dave's people, but Dave's management, I guess, they had called my agency, I don't know exactly how much long later, he wanted me to be in his California Girls video, but I had already booked a Pantene commercial, and it paid a lot. So my agent, of course, took that, but in hindsight, it would have been fun to do, but
Cool.
yeah. Another.
So is it my turn to ask my question?
Yeah, Steve, keep rolling with it, brother.
All right, so I have a question. So out of all the music videos you've done, did you ever formulate any friendship or relationship with any of the artists that you were in the videos with?
Well, I am still friends to this day with Tracy Guns. I mean, we don't
Awesome.
hang out. He spends half his time with his
In Denmark.
a new baby in Denmark, and half his time here. But still chit chat here and there. Go see their shows. Little bit with Phil. And I know some of the newer guys, Johnny Martin bass that plays the bass, and
Right.
and people like that. So
Sweet.
Jason Johnson. So other than that, just don't. I did a Canadian pop music guy, and he, we were friends. We were doing dance class. We did dance class together.
Cool.
So
Well,
that was about it. But yeah, and it's sad because back then we didn't have internet. We didn't have Instagram and Facebook and everything. So you lost track of somebody. You really lost track of them. And especially for me being, a girl, because a lot of times you get married and then you don't know anybody's, name.
Right.
And I finally just found Donna Rupert, who is the girl in the blue bikini,
right.
Miss Fizeg. And she's living in Canada. She's got a couple of grown daughters and grandkids. And, it was nice connecting with her, but I never did find Lori Butler.
Awesome. So, because I know a lot of record labels and musicians, like I talked to, for example, Mark Slaughter from Slaughter.
Uh-huh.
And in one of their videos for Real Love is the song is Shannon Dartery. And, a lot of times, and also Janie Lane and Bobby Brown, Offset had a relationship, eventually
Yes.
evolved into marriage and had children,
Yeah.
or a child.
That can
So, and I know a lot back in the day because I've spent a lot of time with Gene Simmons, and he would browse through a book of models and be like, "Oh, she's pretty," and then he would get in touch with someone of his management team and be like, "I would like to meet her." And a lot of artists, that's how they met their spouses or girlfriends or stuff like that. So. Has that been ever a fact for
That
you?
happened to me where they've gotten in contact with my agent or somebody that I've known.
Right.
Different people from actors or
Right.
whatever, and even model guys. And often I had a boyfriend through that time.
Okay.
And as far as the rock thing goes, I was working and traveling a lot and going on interviews every day. And I could not keep up with that lifestyle. It's just, I love to sleep. I just am a weirdo. I really love sleeping. So,
Nice.
it was always a compliment. And, just going on the interviews for the bands, and oftentimes they're there on the interviews, but knowing that they're picking you. And I know that a lot of women went out for teacher, because I watched them file through when I was there. And so it's not, it's a compliment, and I feel good about that. But yeah, I didn't I dated musicians, but not anybody from my music videos.
Okay.
Here and
Anyone we know?
Pardon me?
Anyone we know?
Probably not.
Oh, okay. Inquiring mind.
No, yeah,
The
no.
B-Way guys.
A little here and there, just but not, And I had I had a long-term boyfriend too. That became my fiance. That became my husband forever. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
Very cool.
Cool.
Very, very cool. Absolutely. Bobby Dreyer, let's bring you back in, brother.
So I'm going to go this route, and nobody's touched on it. So you, with being a vegan,
Yes.
your relationship with Russell Simmons, how did that cultivate? And you do a couple things there.
Oh wow, that is way back. So there is a yearly thing called LA's Best Vegan Tacos, and I would highly recommend it. It's I was just, it's so funny you brought that up, because I was just scouring the internet looking for it. It was done by Eat Drink Vegan, that puts on these huge vegan food fests and things like that once a year. And I couldn't find it, but they did it a few years in a row, and met Russell there at that function. It's next door to Cafe Gratitude. He had some yoga studios and some yoga attire and shirts and things like that. So, I had I think taken some pictures in a couple of his shirts. A little thing like that. But it was basically my connection to him.
So two really good friends of mine, Neil Zaza and Bobby Rock. Bobby's out with Lita Ford now, die hard.
Yes.
Vegans.
Drug
me to all their restaurants up in Cleveland, Chrissy Hines restaurant and everything.
Oh, wow. Nice.
So here's my question to you. Why the hell do you guys keep calling your food my food?
Do I? Well, I come from a family of 9, so the prayer was Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. Whoever eats the fastest gets the most. So it's my food. No, I don't know that
Well, you know what I'm saying? Bobby and them took me to Chrissy Hines restaurant, and they're like, "Oh, you gotta have our meatless chicken parmesan." I'm going, what?
Like our.
Yeah, and I'm like sitting there going, why don't you just take me to a gay guy to a lesbian restaurant or something,
That's so funny. You made me think about that because I didn't think about. I'm gonna check myself next time.
But I do have to say, look, I'm open to a lot of things.
Yeah.
And very much wink, wink. But I will say the great thing about that, and I love Bobby. Bobby's an amazing guy. He's been out with Lita and Neil Zaza.
Did Neil go vegan? Because last time I was at his studio, he I know he has a bunch of pictures in Crossroads restaurant, the fancy vegan restaurant, and expensive. And but I was saying, hey, he's like, oh, something about going to lunch, and I said, oh, there's this, you got to try this, vegan place out in the valley. It's called blah, blah, blah. And he's like, well, I'm not vegan. So that was,
no, Neil's totally, he's.
Did he go that way now?
Oh, he's been that, for numerous years.
Oh, okay.
But here was the great thing that I found out. What made you go that route? I mean, with your background the way it is.
I started, I had a personal trainer. His name's Dave, and I always had a lot of energy and never was sick. And I just loved his whole vibe, and he didn't push it at all. I would just say, oh, what do you think about food this or food that? And he goes, well, I don't eat that, but, and just kind of, treat it like that. And then he said, well, I'm vegan. So, and then I just started to look into it a little bit. And of course I said all the things that now when, somebody says to me, I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I used to say that kind of stuff. Where do you get your protein? Tons of places. I've been vegan 7 years and I haven't died yet. So I guess I'm getting protein from somewhere.
But I got to ask you this too, Lori.
This is what makes it stick for me is I started doing animal rescue and working with animal rescue. And
I commend you on that. I love everything that you do on that.
Oh, thank you. So, you're nursing a chicken that's been, starved to death and abused by whoever didn't want it, and just left it to starve, or a pig by the side of the road that somebody did, and then you nurse it to health and you get all, and you're, and then you go over to Chick-fil-A and get a barbecue chicken sandwich. And I finally just made the connection. I'm like, what am I doing? And I had a lot of friends. So it just.
Well, I call them a homo-hating chicken sandwich.
Yeah. Well, it just clicked with me that I didn't want to get into the supply and demand. If I don't buy it, then hopefully that's another animal that doesn't die, And I ate meat all my life. 7 years ago, I was eating Rex ribs. Sometimes people say, oh, you don't know what you're missing. And I'm like, yeah, I ate it all my life. But now in 2021, there are so many amazing restaurants. There's vegan mac and cheese and vegan cake and vegan sour cream and cream cheese. It's really easy, so much easier now if that's the way you want to go.
Now, are you full vegan or?
Oh, absolutely. I went cold turkey. I cheated once at Disneyland very early on, like within weeks of being vegan, and I had a piece of candy that I loved, and then I felt really guilty, and my stomach didn't like it so much because when you don't have any dairy for a long time, you kind of react how I guess your body would normally react to another species milk. I don't know, but yeah. So now when I've had it on accident, it's not a fun time. So, yeah.
So this is off the record, and it'll probably make you laugh. But being a gay man and somebody who's been in the industry, is oral vegan?
There's children watching. Okay.
Bobby, we're barely 40 minutes in, bro.
I had to go this.
Well, in California, they're having dinner.
On that note, I'll be right back. I need a drink.
I keep hearing the whole thing is.
I totally understand, Damon, because I like guys too. Totally get it.
And I thought I was going to ask that question.
I just like the fact that Bobby had the audacity to say off the record on a show that's broadcast live.
Yes. So much for off the record.
Hey, I will just say this. If no animals were harmed in the process, then yes, it's vegan.
Exactly. 100%. But don't feel too bad, Lori, because Bobby has ripped on me too, because I eat very little meat and I love vegan food. So I'll go to a vegan restaurant all day long.
Yeah, there's some really great ones out there.
So Lori, really, no fish either?
No. Yeah, it's no animal product at all. And no leather or anything. And I may have a old pair of shoes, prior to, but I don't buy them anymore. I don't buy.
Oh my God, you'd like piss off half the Rob Halford crowd and all of us too.
Yeah, but there's so many great vegan leather companies out there. And a friend of mine, Joan, who did this shirt, by the way, she does.
I love that.
That's awesome.
She just you guys are in New York. I don't know if you know
Ron's
World in Beacon. He is that amazing guitar artist.
Who's that?
Guitar artist. His name's Ron, and it's Ron's World. He's in Beacon, and I so badly want to go to New York and go to his store. So I got the shirt from him. You check him out on Instagram. His work's insane, and he does everybody's. I think he even has done Rob Halford's and Zach Wilde and everything. Just amazing work. So I ordered this shirt when I saw it. I don't know if you can see it pretty good there. It's 1984. And a friend of mine, her name's Rock Redo, and she just takes and just reconstructs shirts and adds a lot of hardware and cool stuff. I can't say bedazzled because she'll kill me. It's not bedazzling, and she's like lacing up the sides, and she did a beautiful black vegan leather jacket for me with a friend.
So I'm seeing his site right now. It's called It's Ron's with a Z world.com.
Yes.
Badass.
I told him,
wow.
Save my pennies. He and I were talking about doing a custom guitar with maybe this is from Neil's book. He signed a book for me, but that's our little picture in it. But this picture of Dave and I, and put that on the guitar, and then a separate picture of Eddie on the guitar, and just have like a commemorative, because his stuff, I don't play the guitar, but his stuff is art, and I would love to have that on my wall. Like,
wow.
Well, I'm going to put his site on our site, and thank you so much. Yeah, I'm looking at his stuff right now.
I think he's about 5 hours from New York City proper, but because a lot of my friends were asking me, and they would that are in New York, and they're like, yeah, it's kind of a day trip, but we might go and do that. So
he's in Beacon, New York.
Beacon, yep. And he has art lessons there. He's got amazing shirts. He's got the guitars. He Yeah, it's a cool store. I've only seen it virtually, but definitely want to visit someday and definitely get a guitar from him.
I'm 20 minutes outside the city. You have a place to stay.
Outside. All right.
Stay with me. You don't have to
We're
worry
gonna
about a
do the
damn thing.
food
Steve,
tour,
I
though.
would.
Road trip.
Road trip, definitely.
Road trip.
Absolutely, for
So
sure.
yeah. Anyway, lots of vegan leather, and she did a Hot for Teacher shirt jacket for me. Well, she just did this jean one. I don't know if you can see that one.
Oh, very cool.
This
Well,
is
if they go to the Metal Summit page, it's up there already. I just put the link on.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's
So
super
she
cool.
did this on a jean jacket, but she did a leather one for me. That's a friend of mine sent a Hot for Teacher T-shirt, and she cut it out, cut the artwork out, made a patch out of it, and put it on the back of a jacket. It's spectacular. It's really cool.
Oh, that's
But
awesome.
yeah. So yeah, being vegan is not so hard these days.
No, it's great. But, look, I really had to throw that out there, because.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
No, but I love what you're doing with animal cruelty and everything
Yeah.
else. I love that you're a major advocate. I love somebody who's very passionate about what they believe in.
Yeah, I just feel like they're here with us, not for us. That's just how I feel, It just, yeah. And it keeps me vegan too, because if you do it just for your health, and a lot of people do that just for their health as a diet, and it has amazing, health benefits for sure. But there's days we don't care about ourselves, and we're like, screw it, I'm gonna go have a slab of cheesecake in a rack of ribs, and I'll get back on it tomorrow. But if you think about the animals, then you go like, yeah, no, I don't need to do that. So, because I love animals more than I love myself, I guess. So I'll eat some vegan crap before I'll eat.
No, very cool. Very, very understandable for sure. Angel, let's kick it back up to you, man. How are the Metal Summoners doing? How are you doing? And do we have more questions?
I'm doing awesome. Yes, we do have more questions. And speaking of animals that we love, Jay, we love your cat. It's nice that he's blessed us with
Yeah.
his presence,
Yeah, buddy.
as he does
There
when
I
there's an 80s artist.
You
Oh,
know.
sweet.
Good boy. He's like, I got to get mine.
Yeah, he's like, no questions for me. He just turned his head the other way, like, I'm not taking any questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, I'm going back to grooming and sleeping.
Yep, okay. We'll let Motley go back to grooving and sleeping.
What he does best.
Exactly.
We got a question from Jeannie. Lori, what was your very first gig, and how old were you?
Gig is in music video.
Probably
I guess
just,
modeling,
probably just
in
any
general.
kind of job.
Modeling, I started when I was really young. So I think I was going around LA, testing with photographers and things like that, and building a book. And when I was 16, 17, and then I met started working, got an agent, and started working a little bit. So probably my first job was with a photographer named Richard Armis, and it was for Holly's Harp, I think. It was a store on Melrose, and it was a catalog from a long time ago called Buffums, and so it was the first where I got paid, paid jobs. And then I went to Europe for a year, came back, and then really started working here because there they have beautiful magazines and a lot of work, and you really build your book up, put the tear sheets in your portfolio, and you don't make a lot of money there, but you get a great book to come back here and make money. I spent a little time in New York, but I basically stayed in LA because I was doing the commercial and a little bit of acting stuff. But my very first video, though, and I didn't realize it was Van Halen, that was, September 6th, 7th, and 8th of 1984. And it was right before my 24th birthday, was a few days, on the 11th. So that was my first gig, music video gig. And what a great one. How blessed, super blessed. Been able to just be a little teeny part of Van Halen history,
I have a modeling related question for you. Because these days everybody thinks that they're a professional photographer with the camera phones and everything.
Yeah.
So, in your opinion, what has made the best photographers that you have worked with the best at what they do?
Well, I have to say, back in the day, it wasn't digital, and it was all about their camera and their aperture and everything, and their lighting. So they would spend hours on their lighting, and they'd have the big foil boards up, the reflector boards, and the lights, and it took a long time. Now it's like snap, it's just like a machine gun going off, and then there's so many easy filters and things like that. I have shot with some really, some good photographers these days as well, but it's just different. It used to be an art back then. It really was. You have people like Avedon and, Patrick Dumarchier and like that. Bruce Weber.
So, Lori, I got to interject really quick. So I had the opportunity this last weekend Sunday to spend with Mark Weiss.
Okay.
Have you ever worked with Mark?
I have not, and I haven't. I don't think I've worked with him or been on set. He just seems so familiar to me, and I know his stuff.
Yeah.
So there may have been something that he shot on it. I did, but I don't think so. I don't remember.
I mean, for everybody he's covered from Motley Crue all the way up, and I'm amazed that your paths haven't crossed.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why I'm saying I think we may have, but I don't know if I have any photographic evidence of it. I used to take my Polaroids on sets, and they didn't let us take pictures on the Van Halen set, which I'm so disappointed because I've never really got a picture with Eddie. But all the other ones, like I was saying, like all these pictures from the LA Guns shoot. I mean, LA Guns, those are all my personal Polaroids, and I just blew them up. And, at this, on Rick James here, a lot of like Polaroids. Those are my little ones I stuck in there. And I blew some of them up. But, yeah. So it was fun. And I just actually recently found a lot of those in a box, and I was like, wow. I had forgotten I'd taken so many Polaroids on, so it's kind of fun, reminiscing through everything and, reliving the time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I would say hi to Mark, see if he remembers.
Yeah.
I was Lori Garland at the time, and but like I said, I had auburn curly hair, so wavy hair, so it looked quite different.
For sure, definitely. Psycho Steve, let's bring you back in, brother.
So you did music videos,
Yeah.
commercials,
Yes.
print,
Yeah.
runway.
Yes, a lot of runway.
So as far as in your favorite designer, past and current, who is it?
Back there was somebody, it wouldn't be somebody you would know. It was in Paris, and his name was Jean-Charles de Castelbajac. And I actually did with Bowie's wife Iman and Jerry Hall.
Yeah.
And all those girls. I did shows with them. I remember Iman and I had for his show, we had these little like backpacks on, and as we were on the runway going out together, she would go behind me and open up my little backpack, and became a big cape, and then and then I'd have to go behind her and struggle and open it up, and I remember us like, oh my god, and going down the runway. So he was great. But loved Christian Dior, loved Claude Montana. Oh my gosh, loved Claude. I was really lucky, in that time during the 80s, and there was somebody named Mark Wong who I loved too, and they would give me things. And sometimes just give us the samples or something. So I got a lot of clothes that way, because honestly, wow, so expensive. And today it's basically just boutique stores that I love, small businesses that I support that have great, little everyday comfortable stuff. Or I have a friend, Tara, that also takes, clothes and does some cool things with them, adds things, adds lace. So that's basically where I shop now.
Sweet.
Yeah.
And then I know, just to piggyback on the question, you said before that you were a Van Halen fan prior to doing the video. Were you also an LA Guns fan and a Rick James fan, or
Well, well, who didn't know who Rick James was by then,
right?
But I remember getting that interview and going, oh, wow, it's so funny. And he loved tall girls. So, I was like one of the shortest ones. There was a couple of shorter girls, but there was a lot of us, and it was a really interesting shoot, really fun as well. And I did a lot of different things in that. To come down in front of him and play air guitar, and I got to walk a tiger on the runway. They had me doing a runway thing, and it was biting my legs. They put tall boots on me, and it's still biting me. So they gave me this little stick. So I knew of Rick James, Super Freak and some of that stuff. I had not heard Lucy's Rap, which was the song I did before that, and LA Guns I'd known about, but I wasn't yet a huge fan. I really hadn't heard a lot of their stuff, so became a fan.
Cool.
Yeah, became a fan, and Tracy Guns, what such another really great human, a really nice guy, so sweet and down to earth, and to this day is, and I tell the story of we shot all over LA, so we were at the Roxy, and then we were downtown LA at this big old hotel, and we were on Hollywood and Vine, and over behind the old Palace Theater, and up on Mulholland Drive. And I remember we were going, I think it was from the Roxy, heading downtown. Tracy, I had a little sports car. Tracy's like, I'll just drive with you. I'm like, okay. And I had made my own little mixtape of Alice Cooper with, Pretty Sue and all this stuff on it, like really old stuff and that. And I popped it in and it started playing. Tracy was like, oh, wow, man, I love Alice Cooper. I love Alice. You have no idea. And I was like, yeah, me too. So that was really fun. And that was like one of my best memories from that shoot as well.
Awesome.
So I love it when other artists love other artists, and I see their excitement about it, because we all have inspirations, and it's really nice to see that. Just as I found out recently that Sebastian Bach loves Van Halen off her Teacher music video. Because I was at a party, and my girlfriend's party, and her husband Ron's a musician, and so they had set up all this stuff in their front room, and he and his wife has walked through, and I had on a cuff that was an Eddie Van Halen memorial cuff that Rock and Edge, my friend Melissa there, makes all this really cool stuff and guitar straps and things like that. And she'd made that for me. And I thought perhaps she was going to be there because I saw a few people she knows, and I asked them, and his wife goes, oh, we love her. And Sebastian goes, yeah, she makes some really cool stuff. And I said, well, she made me this. And his wife goes, you have no idea how big of a fan Sebastian is of Van Halen. And I said, I was in a music video with them. And then when I told him that, he was like, what? Hot for Teacher, I love that. So he was joking all night long and singing the lyrics and stuff. But toward the end of the night, he came out into the front room where other people had been singing, and sang a Journey song, Open Arms. And I was just like, it was just like 6 of us, and Ron had a sax player there and a keyboard and all that. So on my Instagram, that's on where it says friends. You check it out. It's really cool. His voice is so amazing. My God. So that was really fun to see what a fan he was of Van Halen too. I love that.
Sweet.
Yeah, really fun. So, I have to say, so a very, I love, who doesn't love Pink Floyd?
Yeah.
Roger Waters to me is, just genius. His writing, his lyric, everything. And I had gone to see him when I was 17. When you sleep the night in the parking lot, and wait till the doors open, and you jam across the stadium on the grass and just try and get your best spot. And I ended up I didn't know where I ended up, but when they came out, I ended up right in front of Roger. I was like, oh, hell, look where I am. And so that was an amazing show. Flash forward, I think I want to say 87. Just had I think on the 12th, I got to work with him. Went on the interview for Sunset Strip on his Radio Chaos album. And that was another one that when I got it, I was like, oh my, wow, this is really, just really grateful to be able to. How fun, how blessed to be on a project like that with somebody you really like that. And so he was on the interview, but he wasn't on the shoot. He did all their stuff. I guess I don't know where they shot it and whatnot, but that was a really fun one to work on. I was walking a standard poodle. We had a Great Dane following us, and I had a monkey on my shoulder. So you don't hear that every day.
I have one on my back every now and then.
Right. Those we can try and get rid of. But this was a trained monkey. So they would train it with grapes. And I had these tight pants on that were kind of spandex, and they were laced up the back. And the wardrobe lady, unbeknown to me, she was going, "Oh, I just got to cut this." She's English. "And I'm going to cut this out. And there's a little fringe here." And I didn't even realize till later she'd cut the material out under the lacing so you could see my butt. I mean, not so bad. It made it on TV, but so they were feeding the monkey grapes, and so it started like it was peeing on me, pooped on me a couple times. But I got a cool Polaroid with the Great Dane and some of the animals, things like that. But that was and then the monkey actually pulled my shirt up. We were shooting on Main Street in Santa Monica, and I was walking from behind, and I had kind of a crop top on, and luckily they were shooting from behind, but it got its tail. Their tails are like hands. It got in my eye. It was like hanging off my shirt. So it got its tail under my shirt. It was on and when I was walking, and it lifted my shirt all the way up. So like the 200 people that were watching on the sides, I got to. Yeah. Oh well. Wasn't much to see. That's all I gotta say.
Lucky monkey.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's like the behind the scenes, not so glamorous stuff. But that was really fun. So you talk about knowing people's music, and of course, Pink Floyd and Roger's music, and that was really a thrill to work on.
Oh, for sure. Definitely.
Yeah.
Like kind of piggybacking a little bit off what you were talking about with like Sebastian Bach being such a big fan of the Hot for Teacher video and stuff like that. So like Van Halen themselves, they've kind of transcended everything. Like everybody knows, I mean, their music's all over the place. You see Panama in an episode of Family Guy. You see, Running with the Devil featured in like Little Nicky with Adam Sandler. But Hot for Teacher definitely has its own kind of like following when it comes to that kind of stuff. And like when you like there's a popular MTV movie from back in the day called Varsity Blues, where there was a whole strip club scene about one of the main characters performing on the stage to that. But how do you look back when you see it being like referenced in stuff like that, knowing that you have like a stamp on like pop culture?
Right. I did it, and I was so happy. And when it came out, I thought it was amazing. I thought it was so cool what they did with that. I just thought it was a great. And then it was up for like Video of the Year or something, and so I always appreciated it, but through the years I appreciate it more and more. And to see the young people that love and know that video, and I have had so many people say that they feel like that's like the most iconic video of those times, of the 80s, which is thrilling to be a part of. I mean, arguably there's, the Cars and, there's been a lot of great music videos, but it's definitely got a fan base for sure. And like I said, so nice that younger people are onto it. And so it feels great to have been a little part of that. And I appreciate it more and more each year. And then especially after, Eddie passing, and glad I was able to work with him at one time at least.
Absolutely, 100%. If you're not already familiar with this, and I feel like somewhere down the line a fan had to have like tagged you in this or slid it into your DMs or whatever, but there's a band. They've only been around for about 12 or 13 years now, but I do like them a lot. They're called Escape the Fate, and they did their own version of the Hot for Teacher video.
I had no idea they'd done that.
So when you get a chance, it's right on YouTube. It's one of their more popular videos. It's with their first singer. Now they got a different singer, but it's fantastic. Right. Look up the song called Situations.
I have to check that out.
What's the name of the band?
The band's called Escape the Fate.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So it even opens up with the Waldo scene outside the store.
It's so funny because I know everybody was looking for Waldo to like interview or find out where he was, and couldn't even find his name. And I was able to find either the adult Waldo or the young Waldo on my call sheet, so his name was on there.
Oh wow!
Maybe it's the kid from the Nirvana video. Who knows?
Oh jeez.
So, did you ever track him down?
No, I didn't track him down, but I was able to give that information to a couple of people that had wanted to try. So I don't know what's come of it yet, but it's really funny because I was, I've seen some articles and a couple of videos as well. One is on grunge, which has like 1.5 million views or something like that. And there's a girl that's Lillian Mueller. So everybody's like, oh, I thought there was only one teacher in Hot for Teacher. And I said, well, there's the 2 blonde girls and myself. I'm not blonde. And in the jail cell. And they're like, oh, we thought that was just one blonde girl. I said, no, that's, Lori and Donna. And so in that video, they talk about her being the Hot for Teacher, model in it. And everybody's like, I joined this one, a friend of mine talked me into joining this one Van Halen page, and it's got a lot of followers. And I had run into this guy in CVS a couple days before the Nerd Halen show, actually, and he had a Van Halen mask and a Van Halen shirt on, and I was like, I had to say something. We had our masks on and everything, and I said, hey, Van Halen fan. I'm like, yeah, elbow. And he said, yeah, I'm a huge fan. Da, da, da. And I was like, oh, I love them too. And I was actually in one of their videos. And he said, which one? And I told him, and he said, can we take a picture? We took a picture with our masks on, and he posted it on his page. And a lot of people were like, oh, that's so cool. How did you know it was her? It doesn't, but there were some people going, it doesn't look like Lillian Mueller. So, or it doesn't look like her. And I was like, well, yeah, 37 years later, I wish I looked like I used to, but so anyway, it's, so I have had 1,000 people ask me about Lillian Mueller. And I think what it was is that we shot everything. Donna Rupert is in the blue 2-piece bathing suit with the sash. And she does a couple of the scenes with dancing and walking and, the teacher from behind. And I think they may not have gotten all the footage they wanted. So they had this person in, and she's supposed to be like a Norwegian woman. And they did some kind of pickup shots with her because she's unrecognizable in the video to me because I worked on it and I know who was there and who's on my call sheets, So I feel like they did some pickup stuff and put her, because somebody said they had an interview where she said she was in the 2-piece and the sash. But I know Donna and I know Lori, and it wasn't them. So that's what I can figure, because I get that asked a lot about her. So I think that's the case with Lillian Mueller.
Nice.
Just to set the record straight.
Just clearing everything out there.
Just clearing it all up, yeah, because that's just one of those questions I get a lot, So, and when they were saying I wasn't looking like her, and it's really funny because even on Grunge, when they show her what's supposed to be her, it's Donna or Lori. I know to be Donna or Lori for sure, and Donna's got a great body, and she's none of us were as well endowed as this Lillian Mueller. So when you see a picture of Lillian Mueller and then you see Lori, there's no way it's any of us. So,
So I got to ask you this one fun thing. Since we're squashing rumors and stuff like that, I want to ask you about something I've heard about that music video. So okay. I wanted to focus on the scene of the guys in their orange tuxes dancing, or for what I've heard,
not
trying to dance. Because from what I've heard, the Van Halen guys, not Dave, the Van Halen guys, the brothers, are not. They are not dancers. They are not very.
They have no rhythm.
They don't have a lot of rhythm.
Than Alex.
Two left feet. Yeah, and Alex being the worst, having
right.
Right.
So I
Yeah.
had heard that was a real situation trying to get that scene shot because Dave's just going to do Dave, and we all know that. But I had heard that Eddie, but in particular Alex, that scene was definitely kind of a struggle. And if you're really looking at it, you can see it a little bit in the video, but you have to know that this is something that's been covered for you to be paying attention.
And
But
honestly, because I've done a ton of dance scenes and stuff, commercials and all that kind of stuff, and you have a choreographer and you work on it and you work on it. And I remember doing a Bailey's Irish Cream commercial, and I had this with this guy, and it was Patrick Swayze's mom was the choreographer, and he had to spin me, and I took dance and everything, so I was spinning, and then to go back up against this post, and he wasn't a dancer at all. He was stepping on my feet, and then at one time he literally headbutted me because we stopped and he was supposed to be close to me, and he just went bam, and my head went to the pole. But on that, so I always look at dance scenes to see, and then that dance scene from day one, I remember going, that looks painful for them, not Dave, but for the rest of them, and I heard that I didn't get to watch that scene be filmed, and we shot at John Marshall High School, which was close to their childhood home and everything, the Van Halens, and that we shot, it was closed at the time. So we shot in the parking lot, we shot the cafeteria, they shot in the cafeteria, the Laurie scene was in the cafeteria. And I'm assuming that they shot in the auditorium that, if you look, at the curtain and the wood floor. So I'm so, missed opportunity to watch that go down.
oh, jeez.
Right? I would have had some Polaroids from that.
I could just picture you against the wall. It's just like either that or just being like so. Either I was like either that or just being so like I have to watch what I'm watching. This is amazing. Like,
yeah, I mean it's all in fun, and
sure.
The fact that they're not perfect is really great too. And but I can imagine the choreographer just pulling their hair out, going, "It's my job, and I'm gonna get fired because Alex is fun."
I'm never gonna get another gig again. It's gonna be my career. Oh,
So,
that's
yeah.
funny. Yeah, I've always just loved that story about the video. So I had to ask if you were. I had to ask you and see if you were live in any way during the filming of that, because I knew you had dance experience, and I was like, I got to get Laurie to talk about this this pained,
Right.
rumor that we had heard about that scene. So that's definitely.
I was around, but I wasn't on that set because we'd be doing something else or wardrobe, or they or they shoot it. Yeah. So unfortunately. Definitely opportunity missed. Really.
Too good though. Too funny. Angel, let's bring you back up, dude. How are you? Question from yourself and anything from the listeners.
Sorry, can't stop laughing about that. It happens. I mean, we're not all dancers. I mean, I suck at dancing too, so I would have probably been in the same situation.
I just suck.
Stepping on people's feet, head butting, and all that stuff. Flipping, busting on my, falling on my ass.
He was like 6'3", and he had like size 13 shoes.
But did he have a big personality?
Oh, Bobby.
Why?
I don't know. I can only imagine. Well, you know what they say, right, Bobby? Big hands, big feet, clown.
Big shoes.
Clown.
Yeah, clown.
Big shoes, big clown. Yeah.
Wow.
Angel, reel us back in, buddy.
Please.
Well, luckily, I'll let Kim Sullivan do that. She has a very good question.
Oh. Hey, Kim.
Of course, I got to put on a straight face and pretend like I didn't hear any of the
I can
comments in the
never
last
put a
60
straight
seconds.
face on Angel.
I figure that, Bobby. But Kim knows where I live, so I know she's going to kill me if I don't.
Oh no.
If I don't ask her question. Laurie, where is the most exotic place in the world you have landed a modeling gig?
That is hands down. I don't even have to think twice about it. And I've been a lot of really awesome places, because the best part of modeling and even maybe doing some commercials is the travel. Not only going places you couldn't afford as maybe a young person or anyway, but they would send you to places you would never even pick. We're here, we go to Bahamas or we go to Hawaii, things like that, Mexico. So I got it. That was when I first went to Paris. I was there about a month, and I booked a Eminence bathing suit commercial in the Maldives Islands, and it was beyond spectacular. It took 24 hours to get there. We flew from Paris to Geneva to Zurich, which I don't know why that happened. Got on a huge plane. We're able to sleep in the aisles and everything. Flew for 15 solid hours. It was Swiss Air, thank God, great food. And landed to refuel in Saudi Arabia, where they told us we couldn't, you could smoke on the planes at the time. And they were saying, no cigarettes, don't turn the lights on. We're not getting out of the plane. I remember seeing armed guards, like in the archways and things. And we were kind of like a little nervous, and refueled and flew to the mainland, Sri Lanka, and around that part, and the main island of Mali, another little plane. And then we took a boat and went to one of the islands, and that was our island. And it was quite an eye-opening experience too, because on the mainland they're very religious, and we had to be covered up in the airport and everything. And then you get there, and we were on a place called Club Nature, and Club Nature, like nature. So we get there, and the whole French crew and everybody just like strips naked and jumps in the water. And so they're like, don't have any bathing suit lines, don't get sunburned, And my Swedish Irish skin, I got burnt immediately, which I had to cover up with makeup. But yeah, so it was a little odd getting used to that. And but you're on this little island surrounded by water, and I've heard over the course of time now with climate change that some of the islands are underwater, but you could walk out in this much water for, it felt like, good 500 feet, maybe 1,000 feet. And then it was just amazing and gorgeous in the sand and palm trees and just something. And we were able to go after that to Sri Lanka, Ceylon, Colombo. And we stayed in this amazing hotel, which, was super fancy tourist hotel they put us in. And it was so contrasted because you look out and it's beautiful, beautiful view, and the land is gorgeous. And then you get down, and we get in the bus to go somewhere where we were shooting a little bit of something, and they're so poor, and there's people living in cardboard boxes on the side of the street, and it's just really, it was like my first experience, not with homeless, but just with that kind of poverty. It made me feel so terrible. And we were giving the island guy, they were saying that they get like $3 a month, and an egg costs $3, So we were like, he would go home on his boat to his island and his family, and we were just like sneaking him all kinds of food to take home. And he gave me a little Indian coin pack of like old coins I still have in a scrapbook. But that was absolutely the most gorgeous place I've ever worked.
Oh, that's awesome.
On the Black Forest before, and Sardinia and Ibiza, and, a few cool places. But that was the best.
Nice.
Were you, because after Van Halen came out with Hot for Teacher, it kind of seemed like the bands afterwards, they kind of followed the formula of get a front man that's kind of like David Lee Roth, do a video with all of these models. Were you surprised at all that after that video came out, so many bands kind of followed that formula of having a music video and so on, especially with MTV?
Yeah, you kind of watched that explode, honestly, because MTV came on and kind of just exploded onto the scene, and then people were starting to make music videos, and they seemed kind of like really cool and creative at that time. And then it was basically the front man smashed the guitar and the models, a lot of that, and it was just like not a super lot of substance to them, I don't know what their storyboard looked like. This scene is the same as the next scene is the next scene. So yeah, I did notice that. I remember, thinking that at the time, that things are kind of getting kind of cookie cutter,
Yeah, and of course with Eddie's guitar playing, everybody.
Yeah.
wanted to shred like him and as fast
Well,
as
yeah.
like him.
Yeah, and then, if you love the band, you love the song, and it was our opportunity when I was growing up. We had Midnight Special and In Concert, and it was the only time to see, besides going to a concert, somebody that was performing live, even though we were watching it on TV, performing like that, and so to be able to like on loop watch your favorite bands and see what they look like, and that was awesome. So even though it was kind of formulated like that, it was still, you still wanted to see who was putting out what and what they were doing with this, the video with the song and things like that. But I feel like it may have gotten a little redundant,
For sure. I definitely understand that. Definitely.
Yeah.
Hey, Bobby, I think it's about that time for you to come sliding on down that rainbow, dude. It's back to you.
Well, I'm going to bring it up to something about that we have in common.
Disneyland.
Look, I've stalked your freaking page. You are such a Disney junkie, like
I am such a Disney nerd. Disney.
and I got my queers with ears, so
oh my God, I love you. The Disney store in our mall is closing, and I didn't know it, and I was so butthurt about it because they had like the 70% off everything, and they have specialty pieces in there and everything.
Of course, but I see everything that you're at. Look, I have an annual pass for annual, not anal, but an annual pass for California.
Sorry to hear that.
Florida.
But yeah,
but look. Oh my God. Well, speaking of anal, but oh my God, Disney California Adventures got the best corn dogs. Nobody does a vegan corn dog though.
you know what? I think they have a vegan corn dog because I follow a Happiest Vegan on Earth, and she is there, at Disneyland and all the other parks. So I'm 99% going to California Adventure on Saturday because I've been to Disney, and then we went to Orlando just month before last and did the Animal Kingdom and Epcot. But
I will be there on the 27th, but I will be October 1st in Disney World for the 50th, shooting the fireworks.
Yes. I have to tell you though, if you can go to Animal Kingdom and go on
I'm staying there.
Okay. So the Pandora ride, the most amazing ride I've ever been on in my life.
But I love your pages, you with the kids, everything. You were so, I love that you have the whole Brother Bear thing and Tarzan and your whole,
we grew. Yeah, love it to death.
Who does not love Disney?
How can you not? I want to see your, I don't know. I don't know you. It's so fun. It's so awesome. And the food and the shows. And I love rides, and I love that.
The greatest thing about, with the pandemic and everything that's been happening, Disney takes you out of.
That's it. It takes
that whole thing of. You can have the shittiest day in the world. You go to Disney and you're like,
it's only an hour away from me, a little less when I'm driving 90. So I can easily drive. Sometimes I will drive down to downtown Disney Park, go in. There's a lot of vegan options, and there's it's called a vegan Nashville hot sandwich, and it's like a faux chicken sandwich. But it's not. It's a big, huge breaded portobello mushroom on a huge bun with this sauce, and almost like a coleslaw on it. It's amazing. And they have shakes, coffee shakes, peanut butter shakes, and so I'll go down.
Hungry.
I'll just go eat. Right?
So Lori, I got to tell you this too, and you know this more than anybody. Being a Disney person,
yes.
Kind of like the metal world and the four of us here, it's like a family thing. When you go to Disney, it's almost like a religion.
It is. You feel a part of. We're a cult. Let's face it, Bobby. We're a cult.
Come on.
Cult. But you know what's so cool is you'll see grown men with these like motorcycle vests on, cut off sleeves, and it'll say Sons of Anakin on the back, and they'll get so into it, and they have their Halloween time, and you just see the most amazing homemade outfits from everybody. And it's not just little kids, it's all the adults and teenagers really getting into it and coming up with some really super clever costumes.
I'm telling you, there's not, and we got Steve on here. There's not much of a difference between a Disney person and a Jew. Look, we have our own little funky hats.
Right.
We have our kingdom.
Yarmulke.
We have our land. It's very much like Israel.
It's awesome. Oh my God. It really is.
Steve, if I do it this way, I look Jewish.
But like, but yeah, so, and not to, say anything of a downer, but I have a daughter who, she's 18 now, but she's a cancer survivor, and she got a really rare cancer when she was like 19 months old. Yeah, we were just at Children's Hospital today checking some stuff out, and everything was good. So, thank God. And so I found out, I was nervous. We went to Disneyland all the time. We always spent the night, and that's literally all of our favorite place and her favorite place. So when I found out with we were living on the 4th floor on Oncology, and I found out we'd go home maybe for a week, and then she'd get neutropenic, we'd go back. And I found out for some of the other moms, they were taking their kids to Disneyland when their counts would go back up for that little window of time before they'd have to go back to the hospital. So we started doing that, and even after that, she'd be in bed and she'd wake up and she'd go, "Oh, I want to go to Disney." And I'm like, I'm right there with you. And what I would do when they were younger, I would get them all ready for school, get them ready for school. My son Weston, who's 27 now, is 5 years older than Darian, who's 22, my daughter, and then Trinity's 18. So we had a little spread. So everybody get ready for school, and I get in the car and I just get on the freeway and go to Disneyland.
So I gotta share this with you, and these guys know my partner, former congressman from your beautiful state of California, was the author of the Americans with Disability Act.
Oh my God!
And
that's amazing.
Yeah. So Tony, who has a disability, I turned him into a Disney junkie, and we are like.
Yay! That's awesome.
My goal is to take the four of us, the core four here, one of us to invade Disney,
and I wasn't invited
or whatever.
I love taking newbies. Gone. Oh man,
it's like I love drinking their, Dole Whip cherry.
Popping their cherry. Popping their Dole Whip. Sorry, God. It's all Bobby's fault, honestly. That's what's happening.
We say the same thing.
Bobby's the go-to guy. But I totally agree with you. It's so fun to get people involved in it. And
it is the greatest thing.
Shadow reality. And you just, for one day, or sometimes we'll go 2 days, I feel like I've gone to another state or country and land.
I don't need therapy. I need a Disney, and that's it. Look, I'm out there. Winter NAMM, when I go out, I stay at Disney. Well, now they fucked it up because
I know.
Now it's summer NAMM or whatever.
I know. It's going to be in June or something.
Yeah. And it's the same weekend as Gay Days in Florida. So I'm like, what do I do? Do I do rock and roll or do I do sausage party?
That's a hard choice. I'm glad I don't have to pick it. But if you come out, you better hit me up.
We are so doing Disney.
Okay, yes.
Look, I have my D28 card.
Okay. Oh, man. Yep.
And if you know what door 28 is.
Yeah. I just got a bunch. When the store closed down, what they did was they had a bucket with these keys now. And it was a Toy Story key and a this key and a that key. And they were like $1.50, and I bought a whole bunch of the keys. And then they slipped in a Mandalorian cool picture. I'm like, yeah, score. So yeah, I just got a bunch of Disney keys for my collection. You can't see them here because they're all stacked over here, but I started collecting the Disney picture boxes. and they're so cool. I have the Haunted Mansion in the castle in Disneyland.
Tell me Disney every time of the year isn't just
It's the best.
amazing. Halloween to whatever it is. Just
Yeah, especially the Halloween time and fall. I mean, they've got all the fall specialties. It's just you smell pumpkin pie in the air. It's decorated so amazingly, and
So I got to ask, have you seen any of the new? Did you see Jungle Cruise or?
I haven't seen, because of COVID. I missed a couple of those. I have plans to see Jungle Cruise. It's playing down the street still. Want to see that, and
Cruella is
Cruella
amazing.
yet? Yeah, we have a movie theater here called El Capitan. It's literally a Disney movie theater, and it's amazing. It looks like a 1940s red velvet seats, and like they would host the Academy Awards in it or something. And there are little balconies, and when they open the curtain, there's about 5 curtains that open first. Shiny gold curtain opens, and then another curtain opens, and then another, and they have a organ player playing the music with it's so cool. That's something you have to do. That's on your LA list.
Well, Lori, you and I are hanging because I'm one of those people. Look, I'm the guy who gets up at 7 a.m. at NAMM to go ride the Matterhorn and then go over and fucking hang with Thomas Buford. Because I'm like, look, I need to get my fix.
Yeah, when we're in a hotel and nobody wants to get up early, and then we get.
I don't want to hang at the Hilton. Everybody goes, well, why do you book a room over at the Grand California? And I'm like, duh, because I can get my ass in there.
In there early.
Get my coffee and
I'll go in there and ride the things that we know are going to be crowded. Space Mountain,
I don't need to hear Bad Guitar Center for 3 hours or whatever it is.
But Lori, I know exactly what you mean, like for real, because like I was born just outside of Salem, Massachusetts. So
wow.
We were talking off the air about Halloween. Like it's in my blood. It's everything that I need. And when I was back in Boston a couple years ago for a wedding, the wedding was at night. I was in the wedding, but not like in the wedding. I wasn't like a groomsman or anything. I was just an attendee.
Yes.
I kidnapped a bunch of my buddies and my brother, and I was like, who wants to go to Salem with me? We were like 20 minutes away. They're like, well, dude, like, and there's my brother, like right on cue.
Oh my God.
Hi, JD. I love you.
Hey, JD.
So
that's the
we were all having this conversation. It was like 9:30 in the morning. We're having this conversation, and it was like, so I want to go to Salem. Who wants to go with me? And they're like, well, we can't not be late. We can't be late for the wedding. And I'm like, no, of course. I was like, look, it's the wedding. That's what's most important. I was like, we don't want this to be like The Hangover where we're driving 300 miles an hour to like get back on time. But I was literally like, guys, if we can get our shit together,
we can do it
like in the next like 20 to 30 minutes, we will have time. You're gonna like it, and we will be back on time. Sure enough, that's what we did. We got together like 5 of us. We went down there. We walked around. We shopped. We went into like these little horror thingies and
fix.
Yeah, got our fix. I got my injection, and then we got back in the car, and we were back in time to get cleaned up and looking presentable. And when it comes to that, so I definitely understand exactly what Bobby's talking about, what you're talking about. But since we're on that subject, what are some of our favorite Disney movies? Like again, because I like them dark and like devious. Like my ride or dies are The Black Cauldron and Sword in the Stone. But as far as heavy hitters go, I like Beauty and the Beast and The Little Mermaid.
Yeah, I think that's the Beauty and the Beast, Little Mermaid. I was around for some of the other classics before that, but I also just have a space in my heart for Toy Story 1, 2, and 3. I was bawling my eyes out in Toy Story 3. Just I don't know, having had kids and things like that, and I was on a woman on a mission without permission, buying all the toys. I collect, a lot of like some music characters and action, cartoon dolls, everything from Planet of the Apes to, it just anything, Rugrats, all kinds of stuff. So I would buy every character, and we put the video on and they'd play with the character or, hang out. And so those movies meant a lot to me too. But
Lori, why grow up?
You said, why grow up?
Why grow up? My whole thing is, look,
So
I'm a 57-year-old, 14-year-old. I swear, burp and fart jokes make me laugh. I just want to have a blast. That's why the four of us here just have a great time all the time. We are so anti
Grow
drunk. But we're those guys who just want to have a great time. And
yeah,
I absolutely love that, and that's my motto. It's so highly overrated to become an adult. I mean, we have to do enough adulting as it is.
Yes.
And
yes.
it's tough, can be tough and challenging. And you got to get all the good stuff in there while you can. I go to shows all the time, like right now, especially since it's opened back up from COVID. I've probably been to like 6 concerts in the past 3 weeks, going, enjoying some live music, going out to the Rainbow, going and visiting friends, going to Disneyland, flying to Florida to go to Disneyland, just enjoying life, and I've kind of always done that through the years. I've never stopped doing it, and I just turned 61, so I'm right. Yeah.
Yes, and you look freaking awesome. I'm telling you, we are going to be the poster children, all of us. I'm like, fuck it. I don't want to be that guy. I want to be.
No, I'm not going to.
Come on, wait. I'm going to show you this.
Sit.
That is my
Tattoo.
Disney tattoo right there.
Fantasia.
On my back.
My God, I wish I had my Disney collection out. I'll just post you some pictures.
We are
Steve
so
has
totally-
one too. Oh my God, his is the night on Bald Mountain.
Yeah. We'll have to extend an invite right now to Lori for a future episode that we can do a whole lot of Disney for.
Okay.
I think the 5 of us need to go to Disney.
Oh, we'll make that a thing.
It would
yeah.
really be a blast. We would have the best time ever. Nobody would have more fun than we would.
I really do. I think when people look at things and look, Angel's been through a lot. We all have. This last year has really kicked our butt.
Yeah, it has.
It's wonderful to find that there's a place that can just take you away, whether it's Disney, music. We were all in the four of us were in Nashville together. And it's just great that music can do that. And Lori, thank you so much.
Wow.
And I'm going to throw it back to Angel in a minute. But thank you so much for being part of our past. And, we laugh about the Hot for Teacher thing. And,
Yeah.
But now she's a part of our future.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. I want to get that in writing.
Oh, yeah, we are so, I'm telling you, we're still riding the Matterhorn and everything.
Yeah.
And we're going around. And
And they're refurbishing it a little bit, so it'll be in prime condition when we go.
Because that thing was going to give you a hemorrhoid when you were on it. Oh my God, it was like 1950s track. I'm like,
I
look,
know.
if I wanted metal hitting my ass out,
No,
I'd be at the anvil.
If you need to shake a couple of fillings loose, that's the grind to go on. But yeah, I mean, it's so fun to reminisce about, arguably the best music in the best decade. I mean, I had, like I said, 9 kids in my family. So I'm number 6. And there was different music coming out of every room in my house. We had record players. My brother was listening to Iron Butterfly and Dagata Davida. And my sister was listening to Cream. And my other brother was listening to, I had one, it was, the general thing was rock, but I only had one brother that listened to a lot of R&B, because he danced, and, I, of course, was into that when I was, dancing. I love everything, but I was always a rock person. And my brother John was the biggest influence on me, and he'd be the person who would come home when I was like 14 years old, so he was like 19, and he would come in at like 2 a.m. He'd come in my room and go, wake up, Lori, come here, you gotta hear this. He'd have like Blue Oyster Cult Secret Treaties, and we'd go in his room and he'd put it on, and then he'd light a cigarette, which he'd put on the dresser and would just burn into the dresser and take one puff out of it. Then he played the guitar. He was, played the guitar, and then he'd go, "Listen to this. Okay, sing this part, and he'd get me singing. So, and then we would be there for like the whole hour of the album or whatnot, and what songs we like and talk about it. And I'd go to bed and I'd wake up the next day going, wow, was that a dream? So I have a lot of these albums like Aqualung's, Aqualung and, that and Deep Purple and, Humble Pie and of course all the Zeppelin and all the Ozzy and, just they're like brainwashed into my head almost.
Hey, Lori, I got to tell you this right now. So I just got a note from Caleb Rappaport.
Caleb, yay!
So tell Lori I apologize. I would jump on in a minute, but I'm watching Kung Fu Panda with my little guy right now. I just wanted to let her know that I said hello.
Oh, hi, Caleb. Hi, little guy. Have a
I just think that's the cool thing. That's what it is. It's like,
just how amazing and awesome is music? It brings everybody together. Being at Guns N' Roses in that stadium with young and old together, and everybody was so happy, and it just, God, it's such an amazing feeling. Think about how big a part of our lives music are. I could not live without it. That is a part of my day, but I get it. If I'm going to go just 2 miles down the road, I'm going to plan what song I'm going to listen to on the way there, and I won't even start playing it until I get out of my driveway so I don't miss it backing up. It's life. Music is life, and it's awesome thing.
Now, if you want to see something really cool, Tony and I just watched the new Cinderella with was it Cabela? Whatever.
Yeah, Camila
But
Cabela.
the music in it is so 80s that is in it, from everything from Queen all the way up, and it's just a twist.
I got to see that too.
Which is really cool, but it's great that all of us. The neat thing is, we've been doing this show now for 82 freaking episodes.
Oh, wow!
Wow!
Congratulations, guys! It's amazing.
It's our passion that drew the 4 of us together and really kept this whole thing. And having guests on like you, just having a great time.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it and enjoy it. I love talking music. I love talking,
Disney.
Exactly. It's all about that for sure.
Hot dog fests.
But on that note, guys, stay with us a little bit longer because we are going to cut Lori loose in a little bit so she can get on with her evening. So it is last call for alcohol, guys. Final questions to Angel. Final comments to Lori. Anything that you want answered, anything that you want to say. Now's your time to do it, guys. It is last call for alcohol with Angel. But Psycho Steve, it has been a moment, my friend. Let us kick it right back to the Jew for you.
Right on. Okay, so the question is for the aspiring models for today, besides the walking, I call them coat hangers because a lot of them look so malnourished.
Yeah.
Sad, and like there's body shaming.
Yeah.
I was bullied as a kid because I was overweight. And I was like very, very overweight when I was like 6 years old. I weighed over 60 pounds.
Yeah.
And, and then I have 2 children, and both my children are, I call them the little monsters, as you know.
Oh,
but
yeah.
They're big kids. Like my oldest son is size like 12 in sneaker. He's 12, and he's about 100, he's like 160 pounds and like 5'8".
Yeah.
But the thing is with models today, and all these girls feel that they have to do Instagram and OnlyFans. What advice can you give girls to not get so much negative attention, but positive attention? And,
I think so much of it has stayed the same through the years as far as that goes. But these days, I know there's a lot of depression and anxiety caused by social media and women being held up to a higher standard of beauty, and all the filters that we're able to use, you know? I mean, there's some girls I know personally are gorgeous. They do not need a filter, and they still filter themselves out, you know? And it's okay a little bit, whatever, but sometimes it goes a little overboard. And when everybody's doing it, the average girl, the average kid, the average guy, you know, doesn't feel as good as. And I just want to say that people are always saying, how did you, you know, have confidence and keep going? Because something my dad told me when I was younger, he said, you're only in competition with yourself. So I never looked at other people as competition. I only could go in an interview and do the best I could and walk away and just, you know, be happy with myself that I did it. Because I mean, there's thousands of gorgeous women I would go out on jobs with. I could have gone like, oh my God, you know, but, you know, just go and do the best you can. You're only in competition with yourself. Stay professional. You know, it sounds silly, but I think I had longevity. I worked until when I was pregnant, I was doing commercials when I was 33 years old. I mean, I had a really nice long career, and I know it's because I took care of myself. I slept. I didn't look at this job as a lifestyle. I looked at it as a job and as a career. And I didn't fall into the drug the drug trap and luckily I have enough members of my family that did that for me. And we're Irish and Catholic, Swedish. So yeah, but I just be kind to each other, man. It's sad. I know, Steve, you talked about it. I'm so glad I've raised the most accepting, kind, understanding kids. And my girls, every single time we go out, if we're going through Starbucks, no matter what that person looks like or what's going on, my girls, each of them will go, oh my God, I love your hair. Oh, that is those earrings are so cool. I love your shirt. I love it. They make sure on purpose to say something nice every time we're out. And I am so proud of them for that, And my daughter, Trinity, talk about being bullied. She has a prosthetic eye. She had cancer of the eyes when she was 19 months old and lost her eye and went through chemo. And so, she has a beautiful prosthetic eye, but there's some disfigurement, concavement and some discoloring. And she's so long, wearing her hair over her eye. And she had gotten bullied, of course, and it's mortifying. Luckily, she's had mostly the best friends ever, that were always good and always stuck up for her, and she stuck up for herself. But she's really confident now, and I love that about her. But she's been through a lot, and my daughter was overweight at one time, my son was overweight at one time. They got bullied for that, and I'm just glad they're kind, good people, and that's all all you can hope for.
Kill them with kindness.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's so cool. And actually, Steve, let me piggyback off of you right quick, bro, because Lori, I loved everything that you said. Steve, I love the way that you went into that segment, man, for sure. I can relate to a lot of what you said, both you and the boys, for sure. So again, I said it earlier in the episode that, we're a show built around positivity. But Lori, I feel like we wouldn't be doing our jobs if we didn't get your opinion on this, being that you had such a long career. You're so experienced. It's a different world that we live in, especially with social medias. And there's a lot of stances and, both male and females that are speaking out about sad experiences from when they were younger.
Yes.
Both, a lot of professional sadness, as I'll call it.
Sure.
What can you speak on just to that? Did you suffer any of that you're willing to talk about, or were you just surrounded by like a really good little bubble? But for anybody maybe dealing with that, or anybody who's witnessed it, or just because it's the landscape of what we're dealing with right now, we would really love to hear you talk a little bit about it, being that you're so experienced in it.
I had something, as a kid, but professionally, I had a couple instances that didn't get too far because I told this magazine guy that my parents were outside waiting for me. I'm like, what time is it? My parents are outside. Oh, your people are here, But I've heard a lot of horror stories. But it's not just in our industry; it's everywhere.
Sure.
It's everywhere. And like I said, if you go with an agency, you be with a professional agency. You be with an agency that's accredited and that is legitimate. I know a lot of people that have gone with like these lesser agents, and they're just, all kinds of stuff can happen. So I did have a good bubble of professional people. Had a few things happen. I had a photographer, have me on hold for this whole, like, a bunch of magazine stuff, and then because I wouldn't sleep with them, he just canceled it all. But oh well, right? It's another job. So just be aware of your surroundings. And if something doesn't feel right, man, it's not right. Trust your intuition. Get out of the situation if you can. Tell people you trust. Because I know people that were continually having this situation and were too afraid to tell. And that, unfortunately, with kids, that's how it goes. They're too afraid to say, especially with boys, especially with men. It's even more difficult for them to come out with that. So, just try and, for modeling and TV and stuff like this, keep your circle professional. And if somebody's offering you a bunch of stuff and it doesn't feel right, then it's not right.
Absolutely. No, for sure, definitely, and that's really the big thing around is do your research, take your time. What the good things will get to you,
right?
That kind of stuff. And I think and you're definitely right with the it's everywhere thing. I think a lot of the the modeling, the video type thing gets a lot of the forefront. Again, because it's in front of cameras professionally. So
right.
I think that's one of the reasons that we get a whole lot of that. Well, Angel, let's kick it up to you, my good dude. Is there anything final from yourself or the Metal Summoners?
We have a good question from Matt Porter. It's kind of like a round table question.
Okay.
Lori is featured in one of the most iconic music videos. Which video do you consider to be the greatest music video? And that's a question for everybody to answer.
God, that is so difficult.
That is a hard question.
Luckily, I've had a few minutes to think about it.
That's almost like what's your favorite band, It's like
or
choosing
videos.
Iron Maiden and Megadeth, or Wow. Wow.
I would say Thriller for me.
Thriller,
Okay.
good one.
I like
Yeah.
Don't Cry by Guns N' Roses because it's like a 4-minute movie.
Yeah.
It's like a movie in 4.5 minutes.
See, I was almost going to say something Guns N' Roses, besides Hot for Teacher, which of course I think is iconic. I just loved Guns N' Roses, and that was one a video job I didn't get, and they were all in there and everything. I was hoping to get that one, but yeah, I just remember seeing Welcome to the Jungle in Paradise City and just thinking those were the greatest things of all time, just at the time, I just loved those. I loved watching Axl perform and, wheel around so cool. It was just like, it was electric. I'm going to get off of this show and come up with 10 videos that I loved.
Bobby, favorite music video that you can think of, bro?
Yeah, we didn't forget about you.
Right now, well, it is coming up on Halloween, so I got to go with Sweet Transvestite.
Oh, good man.
And
that's a good one.
Lori, I got to laugh. I've been scouting your page, and I found the funniest fucking thing on there that all I keep thinking is, and it could be my new drag name. Spotted Dick Sponge.
Oh, Christ.
How did you find that? That's real. That's real. Spotted Dick Sponge.
You were in Britain, and I'm looking at it, and I'm just laughing. That's going to be my new drag name. Spotted Dick Sponge.
That is hysterical. That is hysterical. Yeah, my friend Angie from Scotland sent me that. I couldn't believe it. I said, "Is this real or is this like a prototype?
Yeah,
a mock-up or something?"
Spotted Dick Sponge. And I'm like looking, going, "Oh my God,
in a can.
In a can.
And
Well,
I think you can get
that
it.
sounds like something that would happen in Santa Monica. I
Right.
got a spotted dick sponge.
It's
in
a really
can.
popular English dessert.
Yeah, I saw it in the.
Or it could be one in New Hope. But you know,
That's so funny. Yeah.
Psycho Steve, do you have a favorite music video, my good dude?
Well, I really, like I said, I'm still.
Hardest question, Matt.
I like I said, I really enjoyed Thriller just because the makeup, the music, the choreograph, everything was just because it was so ahead of its time.
Yeah.
And, and you know, they did like I remember because I was when MTV actually played music videos. I remember the whole premiere, and everything with the whole. It was a movie.
Yeah, it was.
We did, you know, and also November Rain by Guns N' Roses was freaking incredible because that also was so telling from how long that was. You know, oh, and then also I loved because I love anime and art. Aha with Take On Me.
Yeah.
That is one classic, and I just saw that the other day, and that is really one that I think everybody recognizes and loves. That is a
Right.
really
And his
good,
voice, the dude
his
from
voice.
freaking
phenomenal.
yeah, the range, and he
And
still
not
does
bad
it.
to Look at, or
Yeah,
you know, it was, there were Norwegian,
Oh.
Swedish, Danish.
everybody thought I was going to say a Kiss song, but no.
Yeah, I thought so too.
You
No,
know.
I definitely hear you on that, dude, for sure. I mean, yeah, that did cross my mind. But I think those are great choices, dude. I think the Thriller one that's a fantastic choice for
That's
sure. November Rain did cruise through my brain when Angel was mentioning Guns N' Roses and when Lori was talking about it. I mean, my favorite band for 30 years has always been Motley Crue. My favorite song has always been Wild Side. I mean, it's literally tattooed across my knuckles. And but I also love live music videos. I like videos that are shot during live performances, so I have a soft spot for that. But when it comes to, you know, music videos, I mean, everybody just knows my love affair of just gothy music. And if I really had to whittle it down, it's I got two really duking it out. I love the 69 Eyes and have for many, many years. They have a song called Lost Boys that I think is fantastic. That's 100% based off the 80s movie.
Yeah.
I love the video for it. And Type O Negative is one of my ride or die bands. And I mean, 11 minutes long, you know, Black Number One off Bloody Kisses. I absolutely love it. I mean,
You know, that's there's different genres that have such amazing stuff. And
yeah.
I just saw we were over at the Whiskey and Adler's Appetite was playing in their backyard bash.
with our boy Ari.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
love Ari.
Ari is the bomb. Is that guy's voice? And he's so nice. He's such a
Yes,
sweet.
he is.
Yeah, he I met him last year, and then he and Steve Sprite were at the Rainbow the week before that they came and performed. But so we were at that show, and just before they were about to finish, somebody's like, "Hey, Quiet Riot's playing at the Whiskey." So he literally booked it down to the Whiskey. Like 4 or 5 of us actually were able to get tickets and go in. And Type O Negative's drummer,
Johnny Kelly.
yeah. So that was really cool. It was really
And
cool.
it's Gigi Pearl singing now, right?
Pearl and
Alex Grassi on guitar.
I just saw. Where did I just see his? Did you guys have him on?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's where I saw it. Yeah, I was just like, I just saw him.
Yeah.
And
And then who was on bass? Was it still Tuck Wright or did Rudy join in? Because Rudy's supposed to be playing
I
bass
think-
now, right?
I heard that Chuck was going to finish the year.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
That's just what I heard. I could be wrong.
is his
yeah,
last
that's true.
Right.
right? Yeah, I think it's Chuck.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. And you just reminded me to say Motley Crue because I remember I'd done a commercial with Heather Locklear when she was going
Nice.
out with the other guy. She was going out with Chachi.
Scott Baio.
Yes.
Oh, with Scott, yeah.
Scott. And so a little while later when she was with Tommy Lee, I had taken my brother and I to go, one of my brothers, different places. And so we'd go to concerts. My brother, Tommy, who I always thought reminded me of Tommy Lee, who's really tall with that long hair and skinny. And he played guitar here and there. And so we went in to go see that group Trouble. And I don't know if you know Trouble.
Yeah.
Run to the Light, End of My Days. And Heather was there, and I went up, and she was with Tommy, and we ended up sitting down with them. I'm like, that's my brother. He reminds me of you. And hanging with them for a little bit.
Nice.
During the concert, and I know the singer of Trouble just passed away. So
Yeah.
When you brought that up, I just flashed on, the Motley Crue thing, but
No, for
good
sure.
days. Yeah.
Absolutely. Angel, let me kick it back up to you, buddy, because I saw a cool question from Matt Porter pop up, and it was your segment anyway, before we put a bow on it.
Sure. Matt Porter wants to know, do you have the bikini that you wore in the video? And if yes, it should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Bikini that I wore, I didn't wear a bikini in Hot for T-shirt. Is that what you're talking about?
No, you wore like.
I wore lingerie. I wore, of course, it was a one-piece thing that laced up the front, fishnet stockings, and my Dave fishnet stocking story, right? You know that.
No, what?
So we're on
But the fans might not.
I don't.
We're on set and we're waiting for one of our scenes to be set up, and I'm talking to Dave, and he had this cool like mesh shirt on, and I always make a joke and say, hey Dave, did they sell men's clothes where you got that? Because I'll see through. And I said, yeah, it's really cool. Where'd you get that? And it was pretty cool. And he goes, oh man, I made it myself. I just took a pair of fishnet stockings and I cut the crotch out for the neck and I cut the hands out for the arms, and then the waistband just fits around your waistband. And I was like, that is brilliant. And of course I went home and I cut up, 3 pairs of my fishnets. But yeah, so I got taught how to make a shirt out of fishnets.
That's
You would think Dave's also a fashion person.
Yes, he is fashionista. But yeah, so I didn't have a bathing suit. Donna had one. Lori had bathing suit bottoms on and this little kind of tanky top, this little thing. But yeah, I wish I had that now. And the whip and the shoes and the whole thing. It looks very Rocky Horror Picture Show, actually.
Yeah.
I could use that in my Halloween decorations.
Yeah.
Well, then, do you have that lingerie set?
I don't. I wish I didn't get it. They didn't get it to me. I wish they had now, but
That's super duper cool. That's too funny. No, it actually reminds me of a really goofy conversation I had the other day with a friend of mine. She was ripping on me, and we were having this conversation just about like size and clothes and stuff like that. And she was complaining about not being able to find a good pair of jeans. And I'm like, she's like this fucking big. And
yeah.
I was like, there's some pretty cool jeans over at like Walmart that I think would fit you really good. And I mean, you could definitely still get things at like Hot Topic and stuff like that. Because I was telling her, I was like, I buy my pants in the women's department of stores.
And I buy my pants in the men's department. I just got a bunch of pairs from Hot Topic.
Oh, that's funny. But yeah, Hot Topic's women's department, Walmart, Target, I'll hit them all. Then I'll just clean them out. Because some of them will be cut certain ways. Other ones will just be a little stretchy or fit a certain way. But I was having this really funny back and forth. I was like, yeah, you're definitely going to find something that fits you, girl. Like, I'm a 13. She's like, oh, my God, if you're a 13, I'm like an 18. I'm like, you're that big. You are so totally. She's like, I won't be able to fit into your pants because you're too damn skinny. I'm like,
oh, my God.
I'm going to win this. One of these days, we're going to hang out. I'm going to bring a pair of my pants, just toss them in my trunk. I don't care where we're at, a restaurant, a mall. I will put them in your hand and send you to the bathroom and be like, I'm about to win.
We're going to have a...
Oh, dude, I'm
That
like...
is the same conversation
I'm gonna
I
win this
just
fight.
had at the bike stop. They couldn't fit into my pants.
Yeah, but in your case, that might not be a bad thing.
Missing something. That's so funny.
But
But yeah,
no.
it's funny. I mean, I'll wherever I can find something that really fits great, Ross or Marshalls, TJ Maxx, Hot Topic, if I find something, I will buy them out because just to get that right fit.
Totally.
But yeah, did a Hot Topic haul in the men's department because they're
Oh,
kind of
that's-
like what do you call them? Pants with the oh god, how can I forget the pants with the pockets on the side?
Oh,
Cargo?
like
Cargo.
Cargos, yeah, kind of, but tight-fitting cargos.
Yeah.
So they weren't too, baggy or anything like that. Yeah. So
For sure. But no, I thought that was so funny because I'm like, one of these days we're going to be hanging out and I am not going to forget this conversation and I will win.
you have to
I-
keep the three pairs in your trunk
Yes,
so that they're just on deck.
they're on deck. They are ready. I am incredibly stubborn,
Right.
especially when I feel / know I'm going to win.
Right.
So-
Yeah.
But
we
on that, but
post
on
that,
that
of
note,
course, please, and pictures and everything.
oh, absolutely. I will make sure that you I will find a way to. That's what I'll do when I win this bet. I'll be like, it doesn't have to be anything major, but I am going to document these photos for victory.
I'm thinking, and I'm sure the rest of the guys will agree, we should sell tickets.
Yeah.
Let's make it an event.
We got a
I-
losing record when it comes to bets.
I even told her, I was like, I am that confident that we can wager something like legit on this. I don't know if I would necessarily wager a tattoo over this because I don't know if I can trust her like that.
Nothing
But
crazy.
I was like, I'll do a pretty hefty wager on this because I am just 100% that confident in something like that because she is definitely smaller than me. I know that is a fact. But Lori, we cannot thank you enough for being with us tonight.
Woo!
Thank
No.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lori.
So much for having me. I had an absolute blast. Thank you.
Fantastic.
It's really fun. Guys,
Before we cut you loose, for anybody that's looking for you, where can they find you?
just my Instagram page. It's Tucker_Lori. For a lot of retro content and stolen memes, because that's I if you have any good memes, it goes into the meme relocation program, which is me. And then Lori Tucker on Facebook. I'm not on Facebook a lot, but everything transfers over from Instagram, so all my stories and things like that. So it's basically just music and mischief. But yeah, thank you guys so much. I really had a great time. And thank you everybody who was watching and all your questions. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely. And thank you so much.
Are you sure they can't find you on Spotted Dick Sponge?
Oh, good
Oh,
Lord.
That would be the job to get, though, if I could get my photo on that. Are you kidding?
You and me, we'll be
I might
on there with mouse ears.
I have to get a hold of the advertising company campaign going.
But we are, I'm telling you, we are so doing Disney.
We are. It's a plan. It's a deal.
Look, I have that thing, look, it takes a queen to own that castle.
Yes, exactly. And your queen's assistant, I'll be that.
The princess.
Okay.
there can only be one empress, and we know it's Bobby.
That's it. Yeah. It's a hard act to follow. Wouldn't even try. That would just.
But Bobby, since you mentioned drag, I know that we had talked on a previous episode about maybe trying to do some kind of fun little drag music video type thing. Maybe we should try to detour something a little bit with Lori.
I even thought about that, Lori. Look,
all
we'll probably
in.
piss Dave off, and we brought it up to a lot of people. Look, we had March. We had a great conversation, and before we end this, we had Tawny Katane, and we talked about doing a couple things with Tawny of reenacting the old Whitesnake video.
Oh
But
my God! And
I'm just going to throw this out here. If you could pull that hair back and do a Dave, because you got blonde, I will so be in that cage doing drag and being you.
oh my gosh, we can just put a little flippy do, and I'll just.
Oh, look,
Thank you.
look, you can call me Waldo, whatever you want that day.
Oh my, we're hot for Bobby.
We are. Yeah, I'm all in. Count me in.
Awesome.
We got to do a RuPaul thing right on this.
That would be amazing.
I would love to do a whole segment of 80s video done in drag.
That would be so.
Tell me that wouldn't be badass.
That would
We
be
do
amazing.
the whole talk dirty to me. We do.
Oh my Oh my god, hot for teacher. That was,
Hot for teacher done in drag.
oh my god.
That's
The-
original.
To me,
The
smoking in the boys'
core
room.
You doing Dave and the four of us all in drag.
I saw the teacher.
Who's gonna be the gym teacher?
Yes.
Buckle up, Angel.
So
Oh damn! I was gonna nominate Steve to be the gym teacher.
Whoever can wear the heels, their detention teacher.
Steve.
I'll try. I'll shave the beard for it too.
Yeah.
Why not, Steve? You don't need to. Think about it. It'd be like that nice bearded lady. You'd,
Yeah,
God.
yeah. He could be the old. He could be the old gym teacher.
it would be like the Jewish taint tickler.
Good Lord. All
On
right.
that note,
Sorry, Lori.
Mic drop.
Yeah, exactly. I'm jumping in on that one.
Oh, okay, love you.
Thank you so much, Lori, for spending
Thank you
your
so
evening
much,
with us. We had
guys.
such a blast with you. Thank you
Yes,
so
you
much, Metal
too.
Summoners. You guys are fantastic. We love you to death. Guest announcement on Friday. Another fantastic episode for you guys on next Wednesday. Make sure you're hitting us up on all of our socials. All the guys are on Instagram. All the guys are on Facebook. Definitely hit it all up. Follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok for all of our announcements when we go live and all that fun stuff. We love you, Metal
Grinder.
Summoners. We appreciate you guys so much. And on behalf of the Island of Misfit Toys, for Angel Alamo, for Bobby Dreyer, for the Psycho Steve, I'm Jay. And again, Lori Tucker, thank you so much for spending your evening
Thank
with
you,
us.
Lori.
We will
Thank
see
you.
you guys next week, guys. Thank you so much, Metal Summoners. We love you. As always, you've been watching the Metal Summit.
Yay.
Yay.